Have you ever started a life change? Maybe it was eating more healthily, getting fit, or breaking a bad habit, only to see it fail time and again. You are not alone, and I've been there too, many times. There's a lot of content about how to succeed in changing our life, but there's something I felt hasn't been spoken about that much. The truth is, there's one crucial thing that makes all the difference when it comes to making lasting changes. A strong why. A powerful reason for change helps when we are tempted to stay stuck in our comfort zone. It keeps us focused on long-term goals instead of choosing the instant pleasures we could enjoy right now. A strong why makes us face our fears head-on and gives us the resilience we need to keep going when we face challenges. But here's the catch. Many of us think we already have a strong why. We think, of course I want to be healthier. Of course I want to get fit. But have you really thought through why it matters to you personally and what are you willing to compromise to make it happen? Without that deeper clarity, it's just wishful thinking. Now, sometimes life can hand us a wake-up call that forces us to make a change. Maybe a health scare jolts us into a healthier lifestyle, or a serious ultimatum from our partner pushes us to reconsider our habits. These dramatic moments can ignite motivation. Sometimes the change comes more subtly when we start realizing how our bad habits, like endless scrolling or excessive shopping, are negatively impacting us. That shift in awareness can be just as powerful as the dramatic moments, but it takes time. Let me share a personal example. For years I knew I should do more strength training, but every attempt fizzled out. I once started working out with a personal trainer who was very popular in the local gym, but he pushed me so hard that I could barely walk down the stairs after each session. My body was tired for days, which meant that I didn't feel up to doing but that one session each week. I believe that was the way. The only way to develop your strength is to push hard. I continued for 6 months, and I didn't make any progress as far as I could tell. My weights were not getting any bigger. I was still struggling every session, and I wasn't enjoying it. So I quit. But then something changed. In the past few years, there has been a surge of information about how important strength training is, especially as we age. I came across Peter Attia's book Outlive, and it came to be the final push. The way he described what happens in our bodies when we age and how much a difference it makes when we exercise hit me like a lightning bolt. But there was something else happened at time too. A dear friend of mine started struggling with basic tasks, things like getting out of his chair or lifting a kettle. He started losing his balance and hospital visits became a regular thing. He was upset and anxious because he realized that he might not survive long in his home where he had lived for 66 years. My friend is 88, so he has done well, but he is still mentally sharp and if his strength would allow, he could possibly live independently at home for years. He was a real-life example from Attia's book of what happens if we lose our strength when we get older. It hit home. I didn't want that to be me. That was 7 months ago, and here I am, still going strong. I created my own workout plan, and now I hit the gym 3 times a week. I've gone from 0 full body push-ups to 23, and now I enjoy it. What started as a chore is now something I look forward to. After all the previous attempts getting bored in the gym, I never imagined this would happen. And that's worth keeping in mind. Getting started is always the hardest part, but once you have figured out how your new habit fits into your life and you start seeing the benefits, it becomes part of your new normal. But how can you create a strong why if you are not waiting for a life-shaking event or gradual awareness? First, create pull and push by exposing yourself to impactful information. The more you know, the stronger your desire to change becomes. Knowledge is power. If you want to eat less ultra-processed food, just knowing it's unhealthy may not be enough. But knowing more how it impacts your health adds impact. For example, I read about how the food industry spends billions to make processed foods addictive. They design food specifically to keep us hooked. I watched a program where kids who had grown up eating processed food wouldn't even eat a normal meal anymore. That opened my eyes. I realized that I have to be careful not to get used to these masterfully crafted industrial foods, where the sugar, salt and fat balance and the mouthfeel have been designed to get me hooked. It's not that I don't like the taste. I do, but staying healthy is important to me. Knowing this, I find it easier to limit UPFs and take the time to cook something from scratch. Another way to build your why is to ask yourself tough questions about the person you want to be. Ask yourself, what really matters to you? What kind of a person do you want to be? For instance, I started realizing that my shopping habits were contributing to a massive problem, unsustainable fashion industry that has dreadful impacts to the planet. What shocked me was that it's not just the fast fashion brands that can be highly unethical and unsustainable, but also brands that come across as quality brands. The more I learned, the harder it was to ignore. Once I had discovered good on you and ethical consumer content, there was no going back. But there was still this pull to buy those trendy clothes I saw on social media. I needed to clear my head and feel good about my decision. I asked myself questions to force myself to decide what is more important to me. Am I the kind of person who turns a blind eye and keeps on buying from brands that are ignoring the damage they do to the planet, especially when there are ethical options available? Am I the kind of person that would enjoy wearing clothes from brands that are having a seriously harmful impact on the planet and who exploit workers? Is my desire for a stylish look worth more than protecting nature? When I asked these questions to myself, I had clarity. No, I don't want to be the person who turns the blind eye. I like to look stylish, but not so much that I'm willing to buy from brands who don't operate ethically. I choose ethical brands now, even if it's harder and more expensive, meaning I have to buy less, but I feel good about it. I feel I'm doing the right thing. So here's a little challenge for you. Next time you're stuck in a traffic jam or waiting in line, instead of scrolling on your phone, take a moment to ask yourself these kinds of questions. It's a powerful form of self-exploration. Even if it doesn't change your behavior immediately, the seed is planted. Over time, that little voice will become stronger. Is this really who I want to be? When you know who you are and what you stand for, life becomes easier. The changes you want to make don't feel as hard. They feel natural as you are becoming the person you want to be. So why not take a moment today? Get clearer on your why. It's the secret ingredient that turns wishful thinking into real, lasting change.